Entitled Parent Tries to Pass Baby Over a Fence. I used to work at a very posh daycare as a classroom assistant. One Friday, Mrs. Teddybear had to meet with a parent about their son. I watched her toddler room for the last half hour. This meant the wee ones were sent outside to play. After getting diaper changes, I was just supposed to watch the kids and check them out when parents came. I was not allowed to take the kids inside unless one was hurt or the weather turned bad. Once their parents arrived, I could not change their clothes, change their diapers, etc. The parents were solely responsible for the child. Shortly after we went outside, Mrs. Fancypants picked up her child, Blueberry. She checked Blueberry's diaper and left. Blueberry was clean when she left, but took a massive dump when she got into the car. I could see Mrs. Fancypants in her car through the playground gate. She sat there for a good 10 minutes scrolling on her phone. Then she must have smelled the blueberry pie, because she got out of the car. She checked on Blueberry, made a loud noise, and came over to the gate. "I need you to change Blueberry." I told Mrs. Fancypants that I could not do that. It is against policy. Mrs. Fancypants said, "I am paying good money for my kid to be clean when I pick her up." I tell her, she was clean. Mrs. Fancypants takes Blueberry out of her car seat and tries to hand her over the fence, which doesn't work because the fence is 6 feet high and she is short. She tells me to take the kid. I tell her I am not going to do that. She knows the policy. If she wants a diaper I can pass her one from my bag. But that is it. I can't change her kid. Mrs. Fancypants tells me to take her, in a heated tone. When I say, again, no, she marches towards the front of the building. She is holding Blueberry out in front of her like a bomb. She then storms out a few minutes later, pissed as can be. She puts Blueberry back in her seat, and turns to look at me through the gate. "You should be ashamed of yourself." Really? Ashamed? Like it's not that hard. I wanted to ask why she didn't just do it herself if it's so easy. At this point I have parents picking up their kids. So I sign them out, clean up the playground, go inside, and leave for home. Mrs. Fancypants glared at me every time she saw me after that, refusing to say anything good about me. She also called me Dana, Danica, Daniel instead of Diana, even though she knew my name. She put her back in her seat dirty? Like from a bowel movement? I have changed my kid in the backseat of a car. You make a kit with a cover you lay the kid on so everything stays clean. I did this as I have a bad back and some changing areas were basically change your kid on the bathroom floor. And I physically couldn't do that. This lady is beyond entitled. I would have a note put in her file so everyone is aware of her behavior. You change your kid in the backseat of a car? I've changed mine in the trunk, which was even easier on my back. Passersby were a bit suspicious of me though. Lol. Karen insists her child swim in pool. But it's not though. So obligatory backstory. My stepdad's side of the family wanted to see where my mom grew up, and it so happens that my stepdad's bio son lives in such area, so they all went. I didn't go because I have work, so just my SD mom and EA and K. FA favorite aunt pound little bro and SDM stepdad's mom were there, but they aren't relevant to the story. So they all arrived and all is well. Until K noticed a big pool. She immediately run towards it, which was then stopped by my mom. Careful K. That pool is not just any pool. It's a EA. Why can't she go into the pool? It's harmless. No. EA, that's the problem. It is harmful. It's SD. EA, this is M's childhood home. Why are you arguing with her? EA. The pool is harmless. She just doesn't want anyone in her private pool because she is a typical rich snob. My mom grew up poor, but eventually the fam got rich in a way. M started to realize that she can't get any word in EA. So to prove her point about the pool, she picked up a rock and threw it in. Then alligators popped out and attacked the rock, splashing around and such. EA and K shocked to the core on what they just saw, and M broke the silence and said, Still wanna swim? Be my guest. This was just this morning. Also, I know this will come up, so I asked my mom to make a video of the gators and she did. Edit 1. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned about why we have gators in our backyard. The caretaker of the house is married to a marine biologist, and facilities in the village my mom is from doesn't have the proper equipment to house the reptiles. So with the family's permission, she is allowed to house the gators. They have some disabilities that make them unable to survive in the wild, hence they are practically part of the family. They've been around since '95. They are pretty harmless most of the time, but it's caution that we don't go near it. Edit 2. This happened in Indonesia. I won't say where because the village is like so pre-80s. Someone thought this is Florida and I am not American. This happened in Asia. What a stupid mother to think that all water is safe to swim in. I bet anything after seeing the alligator she now thinks twice about going into unknown water. Sounds like she is lacking in the common sense department. How the hell do you mistake that for a pool? There's a massive layer of green algae on top. Yeah, and not the fancy snob spa kind either. Ick. Pool nice blue. Clean. And well-maintained man-made body of water. Not green. Fetid. And full of leeches and a species that outlasted the dinosaurs no matter what the owner's socioeconomic status is. Karen. Your definition of entitled influencer ruin her own career. So I post here before about dealing with entitled people at the animal sanctuary I work at. Here another one. This one's a little less than 2 years old. So we got 2 raccoons here named Bonnie and Kyle. They were originally taken from an influencer. Now I mentioned in a previous post that we had trouble with influencer who would get mad when we wouldn't agree to work with them. And they tried to send their followers after us by bad-mouthing us on their platforms. This has happened a few times since we opened and it always backfires right in the influencer faces. This story is about an influencer who is one of the worst people I ever meet. Backstory. This woman seemed to think it was okay for her to take in 2 baby raccoons that she found in her backyard and keep them as pets. Now she originally told her viewers that she found them abandoned and just wanted to help. Which is why she was able to hold on to them for so long. She started a recover series on her channel, showing her taking care of the babies. In this video she let her kids roughly handle these babies. And it clear to anyone who understand animals that babies not doing well health-wise having been away from their mother. But to pity that she held on to the baby for 2 weeks. It wasn't until she made a video claiming she planned to keep the babies as pet once they recovered did people start reporting it to a local animal shelter. You see, it's illegal to keep raccoons as domesticated pets in this area. So obviously this led to them being taken away from her. And sent us. Now when babies are evolved we always do our own sweep of the area where they are found to be sure the mother is not around. And we soon found out from a neighbor that the mother has been there all along, having come back every night looking for her babies. Neighbors also told us that they informed the women of this and she blew them off, using the excuse that her kids already grew attracted to the babies and she planned on keeping it as pet for them. One aside about the mother, she said, and this is a direct quote from the neighbor, "The mother will get over it." Now if this wasn't bad enough, she would go on to post a video condemning us for taking them, claiming it traumatized her children and stated she was taking good care of them, bashing the shelters that took them and the sanctuary. Well, you know what happened next. Jax busted out some good old karma. He posted a video of his own to our Twitter page, with her tag in it exposing her for who she really is. You see, once we found out the mother was still around we decided the best thing was to catch her and tried to reunite her with her children. Which went surprising well. The mother herself wasn't in very good condition, having quite a few injuries, likely caused by her protector babies from predators. Jax included a video of mother being caught in the women's backyard as well as security footage the neighbor gave us of the mother coming back looking for them. The cameras also caught the neighbor informing the mother of this multiple times, exposing this woman for stealing babies right out from their mother. Less than an hour after Jax uploaded the video, her video was taken down and all her social media were set to private. She got a lot of hate and people condemned her. She made a bullspeep apology video that no one bought, which she then removed. And then she tried to pretend like nothing happened. But in the end she pretty much ruined her image. And as of now she hasn't posted in over a year. In the end both the mother and babies became full-time residents. And let's just the babies' names fit them. They are bad little buggers. But they are cute so they get away with it. Photo tags. If her kids played that roughly with baby raccoons then they shouldn't get a pet at all. Especially if it's not fully grown. Honestly, the clip I saw pissed me off so much. You think the poor things were stuffed animals the way these kids handle them. CPS should take her kids. She'll get over it. The mother has been there all along, having come back every night looking for her babies. Those poor animals. What an extremely selfish woman. See. Glad there's PPL still who actually care about and for the animals. Just wondering, how come the raccoons couldn't be rehabilitated? The mother had a bad head injury which affected her sight. We were hoping to be able to release the babies once grown, but they became to depend on us. I would have liked to see the influencer jailed, fined, or whatever else they could have done to her. Reported to YouTube for animal cruelty at the office. Leech wants good hand cream. This happened earlier today. One of the girls in my office is known to be a bit of a selfish ditz. Nothing too over the top. Just the standard: will borrow your umbrella and not return it. Will go into your drawer to grab painkillers, etc. She once dropped part of her lunch on the ground and stood there staring at it until someone else cleaned it up for her. Today she was in fine form. Stopping by my desk, she said a quick hi. How are you? And as she was saying this, grabbed my tube of hand cream and helped herself. A bit irritating, but okay. She walked off without waiting for me to finish my sentence and stopped 2 desks over and did the same to another coworker. This time helping herself to perfume. I tucked my hand cream away in my desk. A few hours later I'm on a call and I see a hand on my desk. She's returned. This time not bothering to even try and say something or get my attention. She fumbles in the spot where the cream should be for a moment before seeing it is gone. She frowns and waits for me to finish my call. After my call I offer her a sample tube of a different brand of hand cream and tell her she can have it. She looks at it and says no. I prefer the other one. And leaves. She goes back to her desk and posts in the office chat, "Hi team. Does anyone have any hand cream?" One of the team offers her some basic brand and once again she turns up her nose. She is clearly waiting for me to offer her mine. I just typed in the chat, "I offered you a whole tube, lol." She did not respond. Sorry. I don't have the budget to buy both of us brand. Good for you and anyone else tired of feeding the leech. The office is definitely getting sick of her and no longer indulging her whims. Which is good. Everybody there should go by her desk one day and take everything she has. Man, I'd have called her out on both of those. Dropped food and just stand there? I'd say loudly, "Your mama doesn't work here. You have to learn to pick up your own messes like the rest of us adults." Steal off my desk? Just a very loud "Stop stealing my stuff or I'm reporting you to HR" so everyone could hear me. And maybe they'd start standing up to her as well. It just takes one person to start the herd moving. I hate people that do this. I remember in school at class I bought a very expensive brand of colored pencils, Prismacolors. They are not cheap, but I loved art class. I shared a large desk with another student and one day she asked to use some for her project because she forgot hers. I said sure, but soon enough she was always forgetting them and even dropped them on the floor on several occasions. They had a delicate and soft core and dropping them would break the lead inside. I finally told her no. She threw a complete fit and even told the teacher how I wouldn't share. Thankfully the teacher knew these were expensive and gave her a cheaper pack that was available for all to use. She acted like she was too good to use those, but apparently was good enough to mooch of me. Seems like she is faking being dumb to get people to give her stuff or do things for her. I'd stop giving her or doing anything for her. That's not dumbness, it's lazy.